Project family, how's it going? Now, we have had so many different guests that have come onto our podcast, and we've talked about meat a lot. And the one thing that everybody that tries Piedmontese says is that it is some of the most tender steak they have ever had. I think actually Sean Baker came on and talked about the lack of connective tissue in the cattle.
Yeah, he broke it down scientifically, but he did.
That's the reason why when you, whatever cut you get, whether it's a ribeye, whether it's a flat iron, whether it's a bavette, no matter when you cut into that steak after it's cooked, you're not getting any of that chewiness, that
gristle
that you have to spit out because you can't actually chew it. Piedmontese is super tender. They have great cuts that are low fat, high fat for whatever diet you're doing. They're just an overall amazing beef company. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yep, that's over at Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Again, Piedmontese.com, promo code POWER. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
So there's a football team in San Francisco called the 49ers.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't they also have the Giants?
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a baseball team.
Yeah. That's where they use a bat and a ball.
Unless they're in New York, then they are again a football team.
New York Giants.
But yeah, the 49ers are in a playoff game. And if they win this playoff game, then they go to this final game, which is called the Super Bowl.
That's the big.
Are you going to watch the 49ers versus the Rams this weekend on Sunday?
I actually didn't even know the Super Bowl was this.
So that's great because it's not.
It's in like 3 weeks basically.
Oh, okay.
This is the NFC Championship game.
Okay, so funny thing about the Super Bowl is I usually watch the commercials. I usually watch the commercials on YouTube after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So am I going to watch the Super Bowl? If you want an honest answer, probably not.
You might watch halftime, and you might watch it, and you might watch the commercials.
Yeah,
that's about it.
And you know, any highlights? I'll watch the highlights.
Did you watch any of the games like of last weekend? Like this past weekend?
Mark, come on, man.
But this is the greatest, like that was the greatest weekend in the history
It really was the best
of NFL
weekend ever.
National Football League.
You guys
NFL.
give me a recap because I feel like you really care about this and I care that you care. So.
I really don't care. I just think it's great that you don't care.
But tell me, I want to know why was it the biggest weekend?
Well,
I do care.
He does care.
I can only tell you about the Niners. So they're not even supposed to be in the playoffs. Like they had a decent season, but they snuck in right at the very end. And when I say right at the very end, I'm talking like a field goal to get into the playoffs. They got into the playoffs. They're generally teams that barely make it into the playoffs are usually like what we call a one and done. Like they just have one game and then they're done.
Wait up. Also, you said it's going to be the Niners versus who in the Super Bowl?
The
Los Angeles.
It's a NFC Championship game. We don't know about the Super Bowl. There's two games played this weekend.
Does Brady have a good chance of getting to the Super Bowl this year?
He's currently out.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah,
Holy
booted
shit.
out.
He lost. See, here, so
he lost to the Rams.
Yeah, so the Niners played the Cowboys. Huge rivalry. Okay, since I was a kid, that's been our rivals. They won by a field goal. Okay, next round. Okay, they're definitely losing to the best team in the NFC. They're playing against the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. For me personally, it was going to be...
Brett Favre was on the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, he was.
There you go.
Yes.
Backyard football when I was a kid, I played that game.
Yeah, backyard football.
Backyard
a lot of
football
people
was a good game.
learn a lot about sports through video games.
Yeah.
I forgot about that game. It was like NBA Jam, right? Kind of like that.
They're like kid versions of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, of like A-Rod and stuff and like all the great players.
NBA Jam was dope. You guys remember that game? The arcade game? He's on fire.
I
never played NBA Jam.
Oh, it's
I only
sick.
played 2K growing
Dude,
up.
I've bought NBA Jam so many times and I've almost bought it like 3 times just this like past year because like they have like the arcade 1-up versions of it.
It's like fake cartoony style game, like where
It's
your
like
guys
way
all
over the
jacked
top
and shit.
Like they when they dunk it, they jump like 80 feet in the air and it's so much fun.
Sick.
And then the guy can be like in the zone. He's like flashing, and then he's
on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire, and he could just shoot from anywhere, and he makes all the baskets.
When you're on fire, you have unlimited turbo, and your like shooting accuracy goes like through the roof. You basically can't miss. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're faster. Anyway, so next round against the best team in the league, against Aaron Rodgers, who has been like very outspoken about the medicine that's out there.
Yes.
So I was like, well, if the Niners win, hell yeah. If Rodgers wins, then hell yeah again, because he gets on to the next round. Another field goal in like 0-degree weather. They scored a field goal to win the game. So a team that's not even supposed to be there is now in the NFC Championship game.
Wow.
And that is fantastic. But every other game that whole weekend was the exact same. It went down to like the very last second of each play, of each game. It was kind of like historical.
Well, also, too, the Niners blocked a field goal and a punt. And I don't remember seeing that in a long-ass time. So that was pretty big deal.
Some amazing things. Yeah. So they
field goals, like when they set it down and they put their finger on top of it and they kick the ball through the golden H's.
Yeah. Golden H.
That's from Coming to America.
Oh, shit. Oh, sweet brother Doomsday.
The golden ages. Oh my God.
What you got, Nsima?
So,
definitely get on the mic too, please.
Yeah. This football is a great sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's better than football? Trashy reality TV.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Love is Blind?
Oh, okay. Kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Love is Blind.
Really melts your brain, yeah.
It really does melt your brain. So I was watching, my girl brought up this show because season 3 is out. It's called Too Hot to Handle. Did you ever see Too Hot to Handle?
Oh, yeah, you were texting us about some Too Hot to Handle, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I mean, I figured it was like some sort of trash reality show.
It is trash reality TV.
I want to just say for the record that I also partake, and I love trashy reality TV.
What's your favorite? Like, what is some stuff that you've watched or Andy's made you watch?
Well,
for me, it's always been under the influence of a woman.
Well, it's under the, I mean, I'm always under the influence. You're always going to be controlled by the P word, right? And when I say P word, guys, I'm talking about penis. No, yeah, I mean, she watches it, but like I'll admit that I like watching some of it with her.
Season
like
3?
Bachelor, Bachelorette. Like I watch all that crap.
Yeah.
Some stuff I'm not like religious about. Like I don't get to see it that much, but like she watches like Love Island and all the crap, all the stuff I've heard you guys kind of mention too.
I've never seen Love Island. I've never seen this Too Hot to Handle thing was funny though because
Joe Millionaire. That one's
what's Joe Millionaire?
She's watching that one now. So my friend Evan was actually the original Joe Millionaire like a long time ago. It's a show where they used to have a show where you thought the guy was a millionaire, but my friend was actually
the super nice guy.
He was like an amateur, like pro wrestler. Like he wasn't like in WWE or anything. And then he was like a contractor, so like he wasn't like rich or anything.
Yeah.
But now the way they do the show, they brought the show back is they have 2 guys. One guy actually is rich and the other guy is just like kind of normal in terms of like finances. And I guess the girls got to like, they don't know which guy has the money.
Sounds like Coming to America, kind of. You remember that?
Yeah.
It literally does sound like Coming to America.
With Eddie Murphy and, yep.
Yeah. Arsenio Hall. Yeah. Okay. Joe Millionaire. That sounds like an interesting one.
Wait, maybe I watched something else, but I think I know that Joe Millionaire. I watched something similar. I don't know if that's the one because this guy does not look familiar at all to me. Or is that the original guy or no?
I think the guy all the way to the left.
This one?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Evan Marriott?
Yep.
Was he a millionaire?
No.
Well, no?
No. And that's from the old show. But the new show, one of the guys is a millionaire, but the girls don't know. I think the girls don't know which one, yeah.
That's rough. So what happens at the end if they end up choosing like the guy who's not the like if these girls choose the guy and then he's not the millionaire, are they just like, oh, and then they?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to the end yet.
It just hit me. So I watched. It wasn't Joe Millionaire. It was a show where it was kind of like the Truman Show, the movie, where the one guy he thinks it's a reality show, but he's surrounded by all actors. I don't remember the premise of like the fake story, but what they ended up finding out is like this dude has like a huge heart and he's like being like way too nice, and then like the other actors are like, I can't keep doing this. Like I can't keep lying to this guy. He's way too nice. I'm gonna search for this shit, but I thought that was Joe Millionaire. It's not. I have to find this one now.
Reminds me of Punked.
Oh, yeah, Punked. Right. I remember Punked. Yeah,
Punked was good. Punked was really good.
Yeah, I think the only show that I've ever gotten to other than Love is Blind recently would be like the Tiger King. That was something
Tiger
that like
King was like a documentary
documentary
loosely.
because that was amazing how much shit that guy filmed. He filmed like everything every single day.
Everything.
Like that guy put in work.
Yeah, he was competing with like how many videos you put out.
What's he was getting close. What's with the Too Hot? Like what's the premise of that?
Yeah, so she had me watch it with her, and they take these group of young hot people, just good looking people, and they bring them on an island with the premise saying, oh, this is you're gonna be having so much sex with each other, blah blah blah. But then on the first episode, they bring out this little this thing. Its name is Lana. It's like a cone-shaped AI potentially, but it's just someone who voices it. But she tells them that no, this actually, you're going to be on this island and it's to help you get more emotionally connected with each other. There's going to be no sex. You're going to get $200,000, and every time you guys do anything like kissing, heavy petting, masturbation, or actual sex, we're going to deduct money out of the pot until, blah, blah. But if you abstain, then you guys are able to win this money. So that's the whole premise of the show. And it's kind of funny. It's actually oddly entertaining. I did feel like I was losing some brain cells watching it. But even though I was losing brain cells, it still was somewhat entertaining.
Yeah. All those shows, like eventually they're going to catch you with something. Like my daughter, I always like clown on her for having like really bad taste in like movies and stuff. Because like if anything has a sequel, she's fired up. I'm like, that sequels kind of suck, right? And she's like, no. But she was watching Big Bang Theory. Oh. And I'm like, this is not good. Like you cannot watch this. This is not funny. She's like, yeah, it is funny at all. And so I showed her the version on YouTube that has everything they say without the laugh track. And you just stare at it and you're just like, that's not a joke. Like that's not like that. You just said a thing. Yeah. But even watching that, I was just like, fuck, like I wasn't watching. I was just hanging out with my son. She had it on. But I forgot. I wish I could remember. But they said something, and I was like, bah! And I started laughing. I'm like, no, that's not funny. But they will all get you. And the show that I was talking about was called The Joe Schmo Show.
The Joe Schmo Show?
Yeah. So everyone here in this picture, they're all actors except for this dork over here.
And what does he think's going on? He thinks he's on a TV show?
He thinks he's on like a show where I think maybe they're going to hook up or something like that. Oh. Because like that's literally all he thought about. But then, or maybe they're going to win some money or something. And he like right away is like, oh, I don't want any money. Like I just want your friendship or some shit like that. And that's when like people like, yeah, he ended up being like a super like nice guy. But I don't know. That's what the Joe Millionaire reminded me of.
Reality TV is really interesting. I remember being in Los Angeles and we were at like a bar in Hollywood, like a famous place. I forget what the hell it was called, but I remember my friends that I was with. They were visiting from New York and they weren't used to like seeing anybody that was like on TV. I guess they like flipped out because the people from Survivor were there. And it was like the original Survivor cast, and they were like going nuts. And I think Survivor at the time was in like a couple seasons into it or whatever. And they're like, that's so-and-so, and that's this person and that person. I was just like, I don't know, I was kind of surprised at how like attached they were to the people, but I guess it's no different than being attached to like an athlete or anybody else for that matter, or an actor. And I think it's interesting because somebody will say like, the Kardashians are famous for no reason. But it's like, are they really famous for no? I mean, we know why Kim K is famous, but are they really famous for no reason? Like, I think these people that get on these reality shows, they must have something compelling about them to, I don't know, get attention, right? Like there must be something interesting. Some of them sometimes are just people just can't look away because they're like a little over the top or whatever, right? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I find all of it interesting. I don't really care who you like or don't like, but it's fascinating.
It is interesting because like when you do watch stuff like this, sometimes like you'll forget that there is a lot of scripted things where producers like do this, do this.
Tons,
it's like wrestling's better, but it's still like fake in a way. I think people forget that it's somewhat fake. And they think a lot of the things that happen are real. And it's just, it's odd. But the Kardashians, man, the Kardashians are funny because, like, all right, so Kim has this whole Kanye shit going on, right? And people are bought into it where they're divorced and now she's with
Like
Pete
basketball player or
Davidson.
something? Oh, yeah.
He's with Pete Davidson, right? And there's this whole thing going on social media apparently where Kim wouldn't let Kanye come to their daughter's birthday, and Kanye was having a meltdown on Twitter. But the next season of the Kardashians isn't out yet, and you gotta assume that all of this is going to be in the next season of Keeping Up with Kardashians.
Definitely.
And they're going to make so much money off of this.
I'm sure.
Like, they're such good, like, puppeteers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's legitimately crazy how much control they have over media in general. It's scary.
And watching I've never seen an episode actually of
Me neither.
the Kardashian thing, but watching a documentary that was done on Bruce Jenner when he was training for the Olympics, the family actually seems really like, I mean, people are probably surprised, but like the family seems amazing. Like it seems like a beautiful family. Like Kim K is in there and all the kids are in there, and everyone just seems to be like, it's a weird thing to say with how wealthy they are and stuff, but everyone seems to be pretty damn normal. And they seem to appear to have a good, like a cool family structure. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I never watched their reality show. I don't know much about the family, but for all the different stuff that you hear, you would think that it would be like real chaotic, but it seemed like they're a pretty close knit tight family, and they seem like they actually really value family. But again, all I know is what I see like in this, quick documentary. So I'm not really sure, but
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like, when you look at Kim and then you look at the sisters, like after Kim did whatever she did to like her look, her sister started following suit, and now they all look like somewhat of the same person. And then, women have kind of taken what Kim Kardashian looks like, and now all these things as far as like lip fillers and what people are doing to their face, a lot of people just look like different versions of Kim and them because of how much of a grasp they have
The
over
Kardashians shaped America, like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
The ass is getting bigger, the lips getting bigger. Like, hey, I'm all for it.
I remember like being, I don't know, probably like around like 23, 24. We just took a trip to like Hollywood, like never really been there, and then ended up actually having a really fucking good time. But like when the clubs like would get out and like you're just walking down like Hollywood Boulevard and stuff, I'm just like, there's like fucking like 1,000 Kim Kardashians walking around, all really long hair, like hourglass figured, like dark, like just beautiful. And I'm just like, the fuck is going on here? Like when they say like LA 6 is like a, Sacramento 20, whatever you want to call it. I was like, holy shit. Like, but yeah, you're right. Like there's a mold and it fucking works.
Yeah. But yeah. That was it.
I think
it's good, dude.
I think when it comes to dudes, it's like, like a lot of people were inspired to go to the gym because of like Arnold. But there's really not, I mean, you can take shit. There's more and more people taking stuff now to have a better look, but you can't like, I guess going to get like lip filler is just like an easier process than trying to look like Arnold. It's a it's a huge deal to try to figure that out. But I guess even the girls like trying to shape their body to look similar if they're not getting like butt implants and whatever. I guess that would be challenging and hard too, especially like if you're trying to like lose weight off of certain spots and kind of keep some weight somewhere else. That might be a challenging thing to figure out.
It's weird because so Kim and them, they got a lot of flack in the past because they would market this whatever detox tea as a way to lose weight and get that and get their shape and stuff.
Because maybe it's helping like flatten out the stomach or something, right? Or something like that.
And it's really it also made me think because it's really rough. Number one, for women who are on that side of social media and do look up to them because they've some women are able to get those types of physiques naturally. Very little waist, really big butt, whatever.
Oh, sorry. I got lost there for a second. Hello, I'm back.
But with her, I mean, it's obviously surgically gained. Like her booty is not. People talk about a Kim K booty. That is not a Kim K booty. That is a.
It's having good doctors.
That is a doctor's work. You know what I mean? That's not her butt. That's a doctor. So it's interesting because when you look at that, and then maybe you look at fitness, when we're talking about improving your physique and improving your strength, etc., we're not using somebody as a blueprint, but people will still choose to look at certain people as blueprints. So people will be like, I want to look like David Lade. I want to look like Russ Swole, who we just had on. Sorry, I wasn't able to be here for that. I want to look like this person, but you can never really look like somebody else, even though they look great. Like you're not going to look like them. I gotta say,
Russ Swole is a handsome dude.
I know
he really is a good-looking guy. I'm jealous of that guy. That guy's got his shit together. I really,
he's got a really great business too.
Oh man, I loved having him here. It was awesome, and he just like so nonchalant. Like, how'd you get strong? Like, I worked out. How'd you get like so jacked? I trained harder than other people, and he had a good focus. I did like the fact that as we started asking him more questions and we got into it more, and we talked to him about business, and I did start to find stuff that like frustrated the guy. So I was like, okay, good.
Oh, like what? Like what?
He just said like he's had some, with just like with starting a new business, like you always have resistance and friction and things like that. And so I was like, do you ever find yourself getting mad and then you're kind of frustrated that you're even mad in the first place? He's like, all the time. He kind of got embarrassed by it. He was like, fuck. Yeah, he goes, it does. He's like, it does happen.
Yeah, because at first he was just like, no, I don't want to say anything. And he started hecka laughing. And then so we're like, no, like what you got? And then he went on. But yeah, because he was saying like he's just doing too much. Like he's like, I shouldn't be worried about, booking rooms for the event in I forgot where. He's like, I got to let someone else do that.
Doing a pop-up or something like that with his clothing brand.
Yeah, GBT.
See if you could pop up a photo of Ben Affleck. He was on a cover of something more recently. And I don't know like what they did to the cover or...
Did they edit his body?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he just like went on some TRT, but like I did a double take when I saw it. I was like, he's kind of... I mean, I don't think he would...
for Batman, he got...
I don't recall him ever like having a bad physique, but I think he's like kind of a taller guy.
Know what cover of what?
Maybe like People. Oh, there it is. Yeah, right there to the left. It's not like he's like it's not like he's unbelievably yoked, but he looks like a lot more substantial than
like
normal.
Broad.
Yeah, the shoulders and stuff. I was like, looks like he's on a little bit of gas.
No, for him if it's like
Ben,
TRT.
Ben, what's your stack? What you doing, bro?
Just lift it heavy.
You see, we shouldn't say that though, because okay,
it's definitely possible. It's definitely an attainable physique for sure.
Definitely like having fun, but
but he's also like he's probably 45 or 50. He's probably like he probably knows what's going on out there, and he's probably like, hey, I should get on a little bit of test.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying we should preface what we say, because an internet guy's immediate reaction to that is going to be like, Ben Affleck's on the juice. And he's like, I mean, look at the man. Like, he could be, but he also might not be. Like,
I think even in post, he had them edit the arms to be a little thinner so that people didn't recognize how much shit he's on.
Did you make that up?
Did I make it up that he's on stuff?
No, that they edited.
Oh no, I'm totally making
but they
up.
always edit shit like that.
No, I don't have any idea. The main thing is that he looks fucking jacked, and like that people are going to be influenced by, we're influenced by what we see.
Yeah.
So people are going to want to try to mimic that, and hopefully they just take that as to like go to the gym and put in some effort, put in some work, put in some time.
And it's not bad to be influenced by the way that somebody looks. It's just when you then are like, I want to look like this person, because one big thing that people say is like, oh, a lot of these people are, they're giving guys unrealistic goals. It's like, but not everybody's physique is realistic for everybody. So that statement in and of itself makes no sense.
Yeah.
There could be a guy that's really, really skinny that's a runner, and somebody wants to be a great runner. There's going to be no way,
right,
even if you got off the gas, that you could get so skinny that you'd be able to be a good runner.
Right.
Like think about that.
Yeah.
There's to have a certain, like, to be able to run a marathon like a 26.2 like Zach Bitter does, you need to have a Zach Bitter type physique. There's no way I'll be able to get a Zach Bitter type physique, nor will you. That's an unattainable physique for us.
Yeah, probably. Like just, I mean, I guess I could like lose a bunch of weight, but Zach Bitter is just like a completely different person than I am, right?
Exactly. Completely different person. The only thing you can do if you wanted to get better in that realm is train to get the best that you possibly can be.
Right.
And that's it.
And that should be the focus.
That should be the focus. But people forget that and they get winded up into being like this person, and it can fuck people up. That mindset in itself should be the thing that people are fighting against, not other shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
How does Ben Affleck not hang on to J-Lo?
How does he not hang on to J-Lo?
Yeah. I don't know. J-Lo's so hot.
J-Lo's hot.
Well, there's a lot of other hot women out there too, so I guess. Power Project family, how's it going now? We've partnered with Bubs Naturals, and they're an amazing brand. They have this just wonderful MCT oil powder that I put in my coffee in the morning, and they have this collagen protein. Most people don't get the amount of collagen that they need in. All mix well in anything, coffee, water, whatever. It's also Whole30 approved. But the thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick are these apple cider vinegar gummies. Now, if you go on Google and you type in apple cider vinegar, there's tons of benefits. Immune support, metabolism, digestion can, oof. But one thing you'll also come across is apple cider vinegar tastes like shit.
It's bad.
It's really bad. That's why they came out with these crack gummies. The reason why I call them crack gummies, and it's an empty little package of them, because we can't not eat a lot of them at once. They're really good for you, don't get me wrong, but they also taste really good. And it's hard to only eat 2 at once, and the serving size is 2. So you guys should get this. You should only have 2.
Good luck.
Good luck. But the benefits of apple cider vinegar, actually, from these gummies, I noticed that honestly, it's helped my digestion a lot. So
A ton.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has helped me, hit the bathroom a lot more consistently. Mark always talks about, may your shits be tapered. And I guarantee you with those, they will be.
They will be.
But just, please don't eat the entire bottle the way we do. But they're that good. And, I have tried apple cider vinegar and all that stuff. And it made me sick. I felt real bloated. And I couldn't be consistent with it. With this, it's very easy to stay consistent.
We're too consistent.
A little bit too consistent, yeah. But head over to bubsnaturals.com and make sure you guys enter promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your entire order. Again, bubsnaturals.com, promo code PowerProject to save 20% off. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
I think the Kardashians, too. I think maybe it's Khloe. I think they have $2 billion people in the family now.
The young one, Kylie,
yeah. And I think one of them had like a makeup kit or something, and they claim they don't have like filler in their lips or something like that. I think that was like one of the big things, that they just put this stuff on their lips, and their lips are all big and full. And it looks like pretty obvious. It's like, I don't know.
No, I think one of the things that like it kind of causes irritation on the lips. Like it, I don't know. There's something in it that makes your lips react, and then they...
It's funny,
swell
like,
up.
Guys, we have our thing, and the girls have their thing. They're trying to get their lips and butts bigger and doing shit to their eyebrows and their eyelashes. Like, don't they get stuff sewn onto their eyelashes or something? Like, that's wild.
I know they do
threading,
but that's just a way of like shaping the eyebrow.
Oh,
but no, like my mom, she has like the eye makeup. I don't know what it's called, but it's like tattooed on her.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like,
that's a commitment.
Yeah. I'm like,
dog.
Okay.
Pull up the I Am Athlete thing where, what's his name? He was
those
like,
guys are dope. I like that show. Yeah. Like
he was
podcast.
Like, yeah. But there's this clip you sent us where all he was like, just train. Like, chicks trying to oh,
yeah,
man.
Send it to Andrew.
Let me see if I can find this. Oh, shit.
I can't remember which Kardashian, but it was like some kind of lip challenge where like people would, they would like put a cup around their mouth and then they would just like kind of like the penis pump, but for their lips. But girls were doing it so much that they would get stuck and they would just look ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It was on TikTok. That shit was hilarious because they would be like all scared, like I can't get it to go down.
Yeah. I've heard somebody else kind of mentioning this before, but it's an interesting topic. Is like the stuff that women do, to look better. But I think that maybe like what's missed is like the shit that guys are trying to do to look better too. Whether it's like a very specific diet, like it seems like the guys will lean really hard into these drastic measures in terms of like their nutrition and taking. There we go.
Shit's just so funny to me.
Oh, it's like a penis pump. It's like their reaction. And then how long does that stay there like that?
It stays a while.
That seems so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I just remember there was one chick where she had
right before a blowjob. That'd be perfect.
I just remember there was one girl, she had like ice and she was like crying because it wouldn't go down.
Oh, that's sad.
so stupid. Sorry. So did you text me or?
I emailed it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, I was just talking about like how, both sides will go to extremes and to do things that are uncomfortable to be attractive. Girls will wear high heels and certain types of clothes that are like tight or pretty revealing, and they got to keep adjusting the clothes all day and all night. It's just interesting, like the measures that we go through. Both sexes do. I don't think that people recognize that maybe men, they go through a similar thing, but maybe not to the same extent. Because women, it's like every day with makeup and just the various different things.
Yeah,
ladies got to put in more. They got to put in more effort. Work. Crazy.
Oh.
They lazy. They lazy.
Okay,
don't put your leg on the table. Don't put your leg on the table.
Okay, I'm not. I'm just lazy. Instead of getting workout, you go get a BBL. All you need is 3 months in the gym. You gonna have ass. Squat.
Why is 80% of America obese?
They lazy.
Or dealing with heart disease?
You know what a BBL is?
They lazy.
No.
They
It's a
lazy.
Brazilian butt lift.
Lazy.
That's
Okay, I'm not.
so that's
I'm
what he
just
was talking
lazy.
about. BBL, get
Instead
those
of getting
injections.
workout, you go get a BBL. All you need is 3 months in the gym. You gonna have ass. Squat.
80% of
Chad Johnson.
Oh my god. Yeah. It is interesting though. Like nowadays, there are surgical options, but those surgical options still come with a lot of risk. I think TRT is men's BBL.
Yeah, for sure.
I think TRT is the male equivalent of a BBL.
I would say
Okay. Let me. I'm not gonna.
No, I agree, and I've said this before about like fake tits and stuff like that too.
well,
I think
so. That's what I was gonna say. I would say it's men's breast implants.
Men's breast implants.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would say a BBL would be something more.
Because a BBL, you still need to get it redone multiple times. Like it will fade away after some time, and then you have to get it.
You got to repump it.
I love learning new abbreviations. I feel like
BBL.
BBL is great.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, because then you're gonna find reasons to use it.
Because okay. This I have a question for you guys.
BBL changed like the way the toilet feels and everything, like because you're or like I wonder where they put
like numb.
the extra booty, Like it must be like specific spot, and then what is it? Do you know? Have any idea?
And then like
Is
also
it like
like
fat?
Yeah, I think let's see.
because there's
borrow
got to
some-
be there's multiple
You
versions.
can borrow
of it.
some of mine. My butt is still really big.
Bro, you can give some of your ass to multiple people, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I could use some, but
What is it?
also like I've seen.
Andrew, come feel this.
All right.
The liposuction procedures from the correction and continue blah 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 blah. Acquired
Like we're gonna take fat from over there and we're gonna stick it over there.
Put it where
yeah,
it counts.
pretty much. They
That's
take fat
wild.
from certain
But
places.
I thought they had like silicone like bowl looking things because I've seen like videos where
They
like
have those too.
they've gone wrong and it's like they'll flop inside and they gotta like pop it back out, which is really awkward.
Yeah. But it BBL stuff is wild though. Like in Colombia, girls get BBLs for the quinceañeras and shit. And that's super normal in Colombia. So like I think it's somewhat crazy how like first off in certain cultures it's normal, but it's like becoming something that like as a young girl's growing up, let's say her mom has had hella work done or something like that. There's no way, or it's going to be difficult for that parent to say, you're beautiful as you are. When young girl looks at parent and parent has had a boob job, lips done, Botox, BBL, like her whole body is literally kind of fake.
Yeah.
It's like some kids are getting a message and it's going to be hard for them to be like, I'm okay with what I've got.
Yeah. And then like, so I gotta be careful, but like I was made aware of a young teenager who's her mom, I believe to be is a stripper or something like that. Maybe like a, topless
I like
waitress
where
or
this
something.
story's going.
But here's the fucked up thing, because this is kind of what you were like alluding to. When she is with like a group of friends or cousins or something, you can tell who's mom's or who's the daughter of a stripper, like by the way she dresses, and just so it's like, damn, yeah, like it's something I don't know, I don't think about that stuff, but that's wild that in other it's just becoming more normal, right? Getting stuff done, like if you get it done, then yeah.
It's like if your dad. I mean, okay, let's do the male equivalent. We just said that the male equivalent of BBL's TRT. So if young boy's coming up and his dad's on TRT and massive and swole and they're working out, and Daddy, how can I get as big as you?
Yeah.
He's like, work out, son. He's like, how about that TRT? When can I start TRT?
Yeah.
I know I'm making a big jump, guys. I'm making a big jump, but it is interesting, somewhat. I think.
Yeah, no, like,
and there's nothing wrong with TRT. I gotta say again, if you need TRT or whatever, I don't think you need it at 21.
Well, if you look at like
low,
like the Lillibridge family, you know, Papa Bear, he obviously was enhanced and he was lifting some crazy weights, and then it seemed like the kids got on at a pretty young age to kind of follow suit. I think in some cases kids want to do like exactly what the parent does, in other cases they want to kind of like maybe just like, I'd never even talked to my son about it, so I don't really know his feelings about it, but he must have seen Bigger, Stronger, Faster. I know that he's aware that I utilize stuff, but I don't know to like what degree. So it would be interesting to have a I'm open to have a conversation with him about it, but it would be interesting. I think for him, he would probably just be like, he would probably be more on the side of like not wanting to take it, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'll just like scenario of like, I'll use Mark then. Let's say his son does want to take something. I think Mark would be way better off knowing everything there is to know about it than another dad who has no idea and his son's interested. You know, and
at least be able to lead
can
in
it
the right direction with
influence
stuff like that?
Yeah, it could definitely influence a kid, but yeah, I would want to be more on the side of having the knowledge and the experience instead of not.
What's with the Brazilians? They seem to like be ahead. Like they know what's going on. They got the Brazilian wax. They got that shit down, right? And then they got the Brazilian butt lift, right?
Yeah, that was a workout program back in the day. Well, I think it still is.
Like Brazilians are hot.
Yeah, got the skin tone, got the hair.
Yeah, I don't know. They're ahead, man.
I wonder like what makes that kind of stuff happen genetically? Like what's in someone's genes to make a big old booty?
Well,
what's in the genetics? I mean, obviously there's like there's postural things, right?
Yeah, looking at our ancestors, they all had, because the way that they stand, they're in their back chain.
Yeah, I had a 23andMe. I was just like a big mutt. Like,
how much African American? How much African?
87%.
I'm feeling like you probably got like
there was nothing as far as I know there was nothing in there like that, but I think for me it's like a little bit more structural, like my hips are pointed down a little bit. I don't know, my mom had a big butt. The only thing you need to study is your ass. Your mom had a big ass, I got a big ass. Remember that from Nutty Professor?
Yeah. Oh,
let's see, I'm just trying to Google it, see what happened. Oh God,
Jesus.
that got dark quick.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
What happened, Andrew?
So I just Googled, why do Brazilians have big butts? First result on Google. Since the original slaves and indigenous population have similar physical structures in the hips and legs, many families retain that today, even if they are extremely white. So that's why Brazilians are generally curvaceous. That's a nice word.
Yeah.
But I guess. But I don't know, looking at some of like the ancestral stuff since having the Goda guys here, it's like, yeah, everyone's kind of like they got big trunks.
All right, so tell me about that. When the Go-To guys were here, because I wasn't able to be here for that either, what was the thing that they were talking about when people are standing in butts? Like, what's the deal?
Just everyone's too comfortable.
They want, they want people to have straight feet. And kind of one of the main things they talk about is that people's ankle bones are kind of collapsed inward. A lot of times it's because they continually point their feet outward, and it's causing a lot of issues. Like, people don't necessarily have flat feet. Babies aren't born with flat feet. So people are like, I got flat feet. And your feet might seem like they're flat, or they might appear to be flat-ish. But the arch in your foot, it has kind of collapsed, but it's not like your arch has died. Your arch didn't just like give up on you. It's the inside of your ankle bone that gave up on you. And then your foot is kind of sandwiching and like spreading outward. And a lot of this stuff has happened because of shoes and because of desks and because of sitting and because of just kind of modern technology. If you can picture, like, every time, if I just said, Andrew, anytime you go on your phone or anytime you use your computer, do so on the floor. If you always did it so people talk about standing desks are not a bad idea, but even better to increase and to keep your mobility would be to do stuff from the floor. Keep getting up and down off the ground. Keep burning calories that way and keep teaching your body to do that. And Nsima's talked about this before, pop down into a squat. You're on your phone, just pop down in a squat, answer a couple of text messages that way. We talk often about, you're going to take a phone call or something like that, go on a walk. Like, at least you're still moving. You got some locomotion going. And at least it's like, it's extra productivity in some way. I've been stretching probably for the last 25 days or so in a row, and I'm just sticking with it. And some of it is pretty easy, where I just, in the morning, I'm like drinking coffee and I'm messing around on my phone, and I got my foot up on the counter and I do that for 3 minutes, and I do the other foot. Some days I do a little bit more. I get in here and I actually go through like kind of a stretching protocol, but I'm usually like watching something on my phone because I'm just like bored. I'm not used to stretching. I don't really particularly, it's not a habit that I enjoy yet. And so I'm just going to kind of like do a bunch of stuff in middle of it. But yeah, the Go-To guys were awesome. They had such great information. I hope that people are able to extract a lot of the great information that they had, and I hope that people aren't like polarized by the fact that they don't particularly love lifting. They don't, in their program, they don't have people really lift. It's not that they do everything with only body weight, because they do a lot of stuff with weights, but they don't really lift barbells. They don't deadlift. They don't bench press. They don't squat. So that was the only thing where it's like, oh man, it'd be kind of cool if they did some of this as well. But their kind of reasoning for it is that they just really believe in what they do. They're more pro for what they do. And they're just like, from what they see, they believe that the lifting of weights can kind of further promote people to go off of these kind of crap positions. Because when people have people lift that way, they continually encourage. Like, think about like a high school weight room. You have one of the best kids on the team. Maybe he's a receiver or a running back. Super athletic kid, super fast. And the coach is always like, you got to gain weight. So they stick him on the squat, and the kid can like reasonably squat 135 for some reps. But the kid's like undersized and they want him to gain weight. Well, now they have 225 on there. Somebody's spotting him. He's doing some weird version of a squat. And so that's probably the main reason why they don't really love lifting, is because a lot of times it's coming from those types of situations where they're not optimal. It's not ideal. The kids or the people that they're having do these movements, they don't move well in those ranges. And those are things that I've definitely seen firsthand myself in coaching some athletes and dealing with some athletes. Athletes are different. You get a kid that comes around, he's 14 years old and he's like 6'4". Like, their bodies are gangly and they move all different places. So in my opinion, some of the stuff that they're sharing makes a lot of sense. Like, let's get this kid accustomed to how he's supposed to move properly, how he's supposed to stand, how he's supposed to walk. Once he can do that, then maybe it would be good to like incorporate some different things from there.
And you mentioned that like they obviously they reference things in our ancestors, but they also reference like great athletes like Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan did some lifting. Did they, as far as like, I guess, strengthening athletes, what do they do? And I guess that's too big of a question, but getting athletes bigger, right? They stay away from compound movements. They do isolation work for those athletes, but still just train the bow.
They do some sled work and things like that, and they'll do some stuff where people will have like weighted vests, and some of their people are able to, gain a little bit of size from just some of that stuff. The stuff they had Andrew and I doing really like lit us up. Like our bodies kind of got on fire, but just because we got a lot of blood flow to the area, I'm not really convinced that those things would really. I'm sure they would have a minimal effect. Like I might get like leaner, or certain muscles might pop more because some of the exercises would be new for me. But I don't really think that I would necessarily, get bigger. So in my opinion, you would have to blend. You'd have to incorporate this, just as with anything else. I think you have to blend this with some actual lifting. The one thing that I think is important, though, for coaches and for people just to understand in general, just because you go to the gym and you go from a 275 deadlift to a 315 deadlift, all that really means is that you can deadlift more weight. It might mean, I guess we can have some, like we can say, okay, well, your grip probably got a little stronger, and maybe in certain positions your back got stronger. But outside of that, it's kind of hard to tell like what that really does. Can I ensure that it's going to protect your back when you go for a single leg takedown on somebody? I can't really say for sure. I could, from my own experience, I could say, well, strength is never a weakness, so having a weaker back wouldn't be better. So having a stronger back can be better to a certain extent. But what if you get so strong that you're stuck and that you can't move the right way? And this is where some of the stuff that Joel Seedman pointed out on our podcast, where I agreed with a lot of what he said too. It's like, we should avoid getting into bad positions. We need to address going into positions that we would constitute as being poor. We need to address them in some way, and that would be in a way of like trying to become more mobile. But the way to address them is not with a lot of weight. The way to address them is, as Ben Patrick does, with some of the knees over toes method, where Ben is like doing stuff that's like either lightly weighted, or it's pulling a sled or something it's not compression, right? Like, so a deadlift or a squat, and you're getting into positions that your body doesn't move into smoothly. It doesn't come out of them smoothly. I don't think that's a great way to reinforce that you're going to be able to maximize your athletic abilities, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was able to listen to some of the podcasts, and then I was looking at some of the comments. Just like when we had Ben Patrick here initially, what other individuals did we have here that, we were just asking people to be a bit more open-minded to?
Doug Brignoli.
Doug. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug especially, yeah.
Yeah. Even myself, when I was listening to it, I saw some comment that's some guy was like, this is very culty. And when I was listening to it, I was like, I can see what you're saying. But they have a lot of good stuff that they're talking about that it can easily be applied for an individual without taking away from other things you're doing.
Right.
Obviously, I guess when it comes to what they're doing, they would just not do certain things, but that doesn't mean that you also don't need to do those things that you enjoy doing. Like, you're going to be implementing a lot of this stuff, and you're still going to be squatting.
Yeah, right? You're still going to be lifting, yeah.
You're still going to be lifting, right? So there's no reason why you can't take in some of the information that they bring and do with it use it to improve in some way. I'm so pissed I wasn't here.
Well, I have goals, I have certain things that I want to like maintain. I got certain things that I want to do that, as far as I know, like the only way to do them is to like lift some weights, so I'm going to keep a lot of those things. I might modify for a little while just to see if I can get my body more out of pain, and to see if I can get my body moving a little bit better. Because on certain days, like after runs and stuff like that, I'm still will end up in a pretty good amount of pain, and I'd rather be like less stiff, and I'd rather be able to move better.
Yeah.
And so there might be a period of time where I'm like, all right, sled work, knees over toes stuff, do some GOTA stuff. And if I'm going to like lift, then it might be more upper body than it is like really trying to tax the lower body. Lower body would be more like, let me work on moving better rather than like trying to move more weight. You know, that would be something I would move towards. And that's something that they talk about. They don't really try to lift weights. They try to move weights, and they try to move weights properly as much as they can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's, for me, when I lift, that's the big thing. Like, how can I move this weight as good as I possibly can? For me, when I mentioned like good, it's what's the largest range of motion I can move this weight comfortably through. That's how I look at things personally. And that's just helped me be able to just have stronger ranges of motion, which has been super beneficial. So guys, you listen to that podcast, just take it in. That's all. Just take it in. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything, but there's probably a lot of things that I learned from and that you could learn from too.
Yeah, just looking at my son, the way he moves, was like everything they explained about GOTA, and nobody taught him how to sit in Seiza, which is just like sitting down like on your
on your knees.
Okay. And then the way how he like swims through the ground when he's crawling, like nobody told him how to do that. But what we eventually do is we tell him how to sit down and how to not do that, right? Like how to walk in. Because so like yesterday, I seen, and Mark mentioned this on that episode, but like I seen a mom. She was a little bit overweight, but like her feet were like way out here. And then her little daughter was walking the exact same way, but like her left foot was like kind of straight and then her right was like way out here. But like you can tell like how open she was. And it's like these little things that like now I'm going to see them everywhere. But the, like I said, like the eye opening, or like, I don't know, something like you can't really argue with is like, yeah, the way my son moves, he's moving the way that, that he just naturally is going to move. And I think like if I can get back to moving better, it's going to allow me to lift more. Because like right now, everything that I do is compromised by my back. Everything, like bench, squat, dead, fucking burpees, doesn't matter what it is. Everything is limited by what my back can tolerate. Now, if I can put myself in ranges that aren't going to cause pain, and like if I can tap into these deeper ranges of motion, I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to get bigger. So my camera just got weird, but there's no way, like I can't disregard it. Like I'm going to do this from now on.
One of the cues, like in a squat, where you talk to somebody and you try to have them drive their knees out. One of the reasons why you're trying to drive the knees out is because you're trying to drive your knees out towards where your ankle is, or towards where your feet are. Sometimes the knees will go outward past where the feet are, and sometimes it will go outward past even kind of where the ankle is. But that's not actually what you're really trying to do. Your knees don't necessarily go out. They have the ability to like look like they're going out, but your knees go out via your hips. Your hips control that opening. But even what you're trying to do, even more so than drive your knees out, is you're trying to have your inside ankle bone be high. And that's what these guys preach over and over again. This was all stuff that Starrett was saying years ago.
It creates an arch, right?
It creates an arch. And we've heard Chris Duffin talk about it. So these are just some things that they're said slightly differently, and then it's said by some different people. And then so people might be upset because these guys in particular, they don't love to see people doing cleans and snatches and squats and deadlifts, all these traditional things. But what I'd like people to grasp a hold of is there does seem to be a disconnect between the weight room and between athleticism. And there does seem to be some disconnect between, like, why do so many athletes blow out their hamstring? Like, we kind of just hear over and over again that it's like a genetic thing. And when you're pushing the envelope, like, of course, shit's going to blow apart. But I don't really believe that. I believe there is a way to kind of get to the root cause of what these issues are. And the issues aren't necessarily people doing glute ham raises and Nordics and people doing stiff leg deadlifts. However, people are already doing a lot of those things, and then they're still tearing their hamstrings often. So like, what else can be done? What else can be examined? Well, maybe working on having your feet be in a better position can be preventative in some way. It's kind of hard to tell, especially like when we're talking about like pro football or something like that. And a contact injury is something that there isn't really shit you can do about, except for be in better shape and be able to maybe absorb it better. If you're stronger, if you're in a better position, those are all, if you have better conditioning, you might be in a better position as well. You know, in jiu-jitsu, if you just don't ever get in that spot, then no one can really do that to you to hurt you. Right. So having like a particular skill set, but maybe over a period of time, you can get yourself moving better. And because you're moving better, when you go to move fast, you got to move really, really fast or fast for you, you're now able to do so with efficiency. You don't get hurt.
Yeah. No, one movement though, we talked about it. Think if more people actually started doing Nordics though, that'd make a big difference for their hamstring resiliency. That's one of those movements that people know if you're able to actually do those, your occurrence of hamstring injury, tears, or whatever, go
It just
down
grabs your
drastically.
hamstring like crazy.
Yeah. So that is a movement I would say that most people don't really, don't work on much. I know I wasn't working on Nordics at all before Ben got here. And when I did start working them and did start improving on them, my hamstrings are fucking golden. Even if I just ran into a sprint, which is something that usually would fuck up my hamstring. Like if I go into a 100% sprint, my hamstrings are not going to go. It's scary. But who's that animal moving dude that you brought up? What's his name? Go to Ben?
Go to Bam. Yeah, he was.
Oh, Bam.
Yeah, he's fucking savage. He was here. He's their camera guy.
Why was he not on?
Well, we ran out of microphones, but
okay.
No, he's another Goda coach, and he's a fucking savage. He's super jacked, and my computer's not loading. But he does a lot of the movements that you saw. Like I'll say functional, but he's in amazing shape, and the dude's awesome. He was like, yeah, if you walk into my apartment, he's like, all you see is just like wrestling mats. He's like, and then a low coffee table. And he has like a bed mat. Like he doesn't have like an actual bed. He's like a couple Seiza chairs. He's like, and that's it.
Oh, he doesn't even sit in a chair. I went to dinner with him and he was standing in his chair in a squat position. Like, and both his knees were like up by like his face almost, like, cause he was like in this crazy, like bendy squat position. And I was like, what the and he did that in our conference room too. Yeah. He's just like sitting there perched, like in a 10-minute squat. It's wild.
This dude's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
He's like,
but check this out.
He does jujitsu and shit too.
I saw this
Fucking
in the airport.
In the airport, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's dancing and shit.
Yeah. No, dude's super cool. Very talented.
Movements definitely look pretty different and they look weird, but I think they can be effective. I think it can really be helpful.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to get them from you guys so I can add them in.
Yeah, you'll dig it. Want to take us on out of here, Andrew?
Sure thing. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. Please like today's episode and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. And let us know what shitty reality TV show that you got hooked on, because I'm curious to see what else everybody was watching. Because I know I'm trying to think. I don't know. I've probably watched something. It's just not coming to mind. But anyways, yeah, please let us know what you guys are watching. And please follow the podcast at Mark Bell's Power Project on Instagram, at MB Power Project on TikTok and Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, we missed you. Where can people find you?
Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark?
Guys, don't forget to watch some Peacemaker.
Oh,
that
this new episode was out yesterday, huh? Thursdays. You gotta check it out.
With my boy John Cena. Some good shit. You got to see a little bit of it, right, Andrew?
I watched like about half of the first episode, and I really like it. I just, haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
Why does he walk with his booty out?
Oh, he always talks like that. Yeah, you know that the Discovery Channel did a documentary on us a long time ago. It was like the making of like a pro wrestler or whatever. And, just had all these like scenes of us like wrestling and shit. Like, it was a lot of fun. But there was a scene where he was like shopping and he's like pushing his like shopping cart like in the grocery store, and he's got like just tons of meat in the shopping cart or whatever. And he just walks by the camera, and the camera's at like waist level, and he just has the biggest ass. And we'd always laugh at that clip because we're like, dude, what the fuck are you walking like that for?
Goda.
But he walks like that. Yeah, John's feet are like pigeon-toed together. They're like pointing towards each other.
They do?
Yeah, and his ass is back. He's a fucking genetic anomaly.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe Gota has the key.
It's a big motherfucker. I know that. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.